bigger than just tech. It's a movement. Let's go. Get them to the metaverse. Level up your mind. Tapping into new worlds you ain't never tried. Hardware, headlines, keeping it tight. Abstract flow. Guess they like the mic. Get them to the metaverse. Whoa. Get them to the metaverse. Yeah. Get them to the metaverse. It's Joy and JDun. We bringing the universe. Kick it off right, Joy set the tone. JDun breaking it down from the zone. They talking gear, they talking space. XR dreams you can't replace. It's not just games, it's next gen tools where creators thrive and rewrite rules. From AR specs to the code they write. They shine that light in your heads at night. Mixed reality, stay in the know. They got the insights, let it all flow. Guests pull up with their future flames, breaking it down in the whole song lane. So when you hear that beat, better buckle in. We talk the future where the real begins. Joy and JDun leading the wave. XR energy every time they play. Call them to the metaverse. Level up your mind. Tapping into new worlds you ain't never tried. Hardware, headlines, keeping it tight. Abstract flow. Guess they like the mic. Yeah. Get them to the metaverse. Whoa. Get them to the metaverse. Yeah. Get them to the metaverse. It's Joy and JDun. We bringing the universe. One link. One verse. Let's get them to the metaverse. One link. One verse. Let's get them to the metaverse.
Yo, it's your boy. Let's go. We so excited. We so elated. We so happy to be back on Get 'em to the Metaverse podcast. I'm with the most amazing and lovely and gorgeous, fine, sexy, the dopest, the awesome, divine, JoyReign. How you feeling today, JoyReign?
I am feeling well. Hey everybody. Welcome to Get 'em to the Metaverse. Another episode, like, y'all, we are back. We're so glad that we can talk. Oh my gosh, but we'll explain that so much more in the show. But JDun, tell the people how you feeling.
Listen, I can talk, baby, so I'm happy, baby. I can talk, baby, so I'm happy, baby. And we talking Get 'em to the Metaverse. Listen, y'all, listen. Welcome to Get 'em to the Metaverse. Y'all know what it is. We are the most littiest Metaverse podcast of all podcasts. Y'all already know it's a party every time we get in the building. But listen, our mission is to help to make the extraordinary Metaverse an ordinary part of life. And of course, you're always with your boy JDun and the lovely JoyReign. So excited to have y'all in the building. Listen, it's so much to talk about. In fact, let me just stop the music because we got so much to talk about. Let's go ahead and get into this week's breaking news. You ready to do that, Joy?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Awesome. Let's go. Well, all right, y'all. Now, y'all know how we got to get down. We got to get down with it. It's so many things to talk about. But we also have to talk about the folks that's already showing up. We got Mr. Trey. Let's go. We appreciate you, fam, showing up in the building. You know what you get, brother? You know what you get? You get the good claps.
Good clap.
You get the good claps.
Yes.
Okay, we got Brendan692 saying, woo, woo. You know what you get? You know what you get?
The good claps.
You get the good claps. And Lion Like Man says, me and the missus giving y'all the good claps.
Hey,
you know what? So you gave us the good claps? Wait a minute. I don't think we've ever had someone give us the good claps. So I gotta give y'all the DJ horn. You know, I gotta give y'all the horn, man. We gotta give y'all the horn, man. But listen, so much to talk about. And the first thing we want to do is we want to say thank you to you all. Because recently, we just was honored by the Poly Immersive Awards as community honorees for the 6th annual Poly Awards. And what's incredible about this is this was not something we were chasing. Me and Joy are not people who seek that type of honor or awards. We wake up every single day with a mission to get them to the metaverse. You guys know that already. You're watching the podcast. But it's always special when you get that feeling and that love from the community, right, Joy?
It is. It's always an honor to be recognized for the work that you do. And, y'all for rocking with us, and also to wanting to know more about this technology and sharing the love that we have for it as well. So, I mean, y'all, let's continue to do this stuff, right?
I love that. I love that. So y'all can see the lovely, gorgeous JoyReign holding the incredible, which is called the Looking Glass. It's an actual virtual award that you can physically hold. And when you look at it from the picture, it just looks like a flat display, but it's actually a 3D image that as you look on it, it's kind of like the 3DS or like a 3D screen without glasses. It's really, really cool. And so we just want to thank once again Andy Fidel, who nominated us for the incredible award. As well as the entire Poly Immersive Awards crew. Thank you, Ben Irwin, and all of those folks. Just an incredible, incredible honor. And we just wanted to start the show off with saying a thank you to everybody who has made us become what we believe is a household name when it comes to XR for sure. All right, so now that we got the mushy stuff out the way, now I have to play.
Let's get into this news.
Let's get into some news. I'm gonna play some sad music.
Oh no,
Joy. I'm gonna put this image up.
Oh Lord.
On June 15th, Horizon Worlds will no longer be in VR. No, psych, actually. We don't have that anymore. We don't because of the community once again showing out, giving the good, let me get the good claps. Let me give it the good claps. Because the community showed up. Boz did an AMA. We got to go show it while we're talking about this. Boz did an AMA where your boy, I'm always going to show up for the community. Me and Joy are going to always show up. Boz did an AMA, and I asked the question. I said, listen, I'm heartbroken about the decision about Horizon being sunsetted in VR and only being mobile. I just don't understand why I can't just be a standalone app. And Boz actually answered and said, you know what? We just reversed this whole thing. Now you gotta, Joy, we gotta explain to them how crazy this was of a reversal. So you want to explain to them kind of like how the day before, how everything was prior to this?
Oh my gosh. So Horizon Worlds had sent out a blast email announcing that they will be shutting down all basically their parts of the VR section where we won't be able to go and visit the worlds in, the headset and whatnot. And so then 24 hours later, not even 24 hours later, this AMA happens. And then Boz says, you know what? We're not doing that. We're not taking away from VR. And everybody's like, wait, you're lying. Is this true? How did this happen?
Some people even asking, who the heck is Boz? Who is this guy? How y'all believe in this guy telling y'all they're going to keep Horizon? I'm like, that's the CTO of Meta.
That's the CTO of Meta.
It's pretty important to know that person's name. But I understand a lot of emotions and a lot of still confusion, honestly, of where Horizon, we're going to keep only like certain Horizon worlds, but Boz came back a day or so later after that and said, he even retweeted our video and said, listen, in case you miss it, all Horizon, what he call it, Horizon Unity runtime worlds, which means any world built from the desktop editor, from the in-headset tools, the primitive shapes, will still run. The only ones that won't run are any worlds that are built off the studio, the new Horizon engine, Horizon Studio, which means Horizon Central, Bobber Bay. There's a few other ones. The arena that had the cool Coldplay concert that me and Joy absolutely loved.
Yeah, it was good.
We were finally seeing some really incredible concerts, and unfortunately now it seems that we will no longer have that option, but we will still be able to visit some really cool worlds.
Yeah, we're going to visit some cool worlds, and then after we'll still be able to socialize in Horizon Worlds as well using
Say that,
the
Joy.
headset. And so that was the main thing that people were saying. They were like, oh my gosh, we won't be able to have that presence anymore in VR. And so they were saying if we could have that presence, well, you know what? The presence is here. Now, as far as any other details, as far as the ins and outs and the technicalities of it, they still are going to be rolling out that information. So we can't say what it is or what it isn't. But we do know that social VR is here to stay for the most part.
Say that, Joy. Say that, Joy. And so, we're excited. A lot of people, they come to us and they were seeing that we posted about this and thought we were just making this all up. We're just happy that it got backed up by Boz to say yes, even using our video to say yes, this is true, this is happening. We have no reason to lie. We absolutely love the Meta Horizon platform. We have literally put it on our backs for
and then after we've built up this reputation to have to be a trusted source. So hey, it is what it is. We're not gonna report on it if we don't know the ins and out of it and if we don't believe that is true.
Absolutely. So we just want to bring that up top of the hour to speak about exactly what's going on with Meta Horizon and why we're so excited about having that social piece still in VR. My hope, in Boz, if you're listening, Meta, if you're listening, hey, our hope is that they still reverse it even deeper and go back to wanting to be more invested in Horizon and VR. We're not asking. I gotta say this, Joy. I gotta get on the soapbox real quick. Let me put the camera on me. I'm gonna put the camera on me real quick. The soapbox moment here is this. We never asked for worlds to be a part of the library. We never asked for worlds to be in the store. This is coming from Horizon World people. We just wanted the app to function in the best possible way. That's all we wanted. So we're getting a piece of that story. I would love to be able to come back and maybe Boz or Zuck say, you know what? We are going to invest in the studio and engine, still working on VR, and allow you guys to really take these worlds to the next level. What you guys don't understand, what we're going to be missing is we were going to finally get VR chat level worlds in Horizon. You saw a piece of it in Central. You saw a piece of it in Arena. Even Bobber Bay, if you went into that newer version of it, we were going to be able to build those types of worlds for VR and mobile, but now only for mobile. So, it's a little sad, a little bit, but we're still excited that there was some type of change that we can see continue. Eric Hartley's in the building. Appreciate you, Sam. He said, hope everyone is having a great Thursday. Concerts will still be available in Oculus or Meta TV in the TV experience on the Quest. Listen, that's cool, but being able to socialize, currently right now, I can't watch that with other people in the headset easily. What we want is to be able to go into these worlds together and experience these concerts like me and Joy did. That's what we want to be able to do. Lion Like Man says, a bet that the people might actually be more open-minded to it now, and it's not forced. They might even find that there's many worlds like Cosmos and Bunkies with no screaming kids. Absolutely. Shout out to Cosmos and Bunkies for sure. Look, a little bit. So Price said, I appreciate you, Price, for tuning in. We appreciate you. He said a little bit. They lied. Listen, man. they bringing it back. We're gonna be able to still go to the basement. We excited about those types of things, but we're gonna move on from Horizon because we could talk about Horizon all day. We got a main topic we're gonna get into, and we can talk about GDC and everything that we experienced. We're gonna talk a little bit more about Meta Horizon Worlds, but let's switch over to another land because on June 8th, we are excited because WWDC was just announced from Apple. Now, some of you may be like, okay, well, what does that have to do with VR? Well, we were expecting to see Vision OS 27 showcased at WWDC 26, and we have a feeling this year is going to be an absolutely huge year. Now, Joy makes this joke with me every year. You see her about preparing herself, where I tell her, this is the year that Vision Pro just takes it to the moon. And she's like, okay. So Joy, what do you think? Do you think
Man, I hope I have high hopes for it. However, I'm not gonna hold my breath, but I want to be optimistic for it. But I'm like, you know what? It is what it is, and if it happens, I'm gonna scream it to the top of the roof. I'm gonna shout it. But listen, people dragging their feet. Every one of these companies dragging their feet. They going through a crisis right now, it seems like. So it seems that we just have to get what we can get, and it is what it is. So I hope, JDun. I don't
love,
want to
you know
bring it
what?
down too much.
This is
I just want to hope.
this is the thing. You're always gonna get the truth from us. Now I have a little slight optimism and excitement, hoping and believing and praying that this go round after after 2 years, we're going into the third year of Vision Pro. Not only will we see some advancements on the OS side, but we'll also see more things take advantage of the newer model, the M5 model, as well as maybe a teaser for some glasses or a lighter version. That's the hope here. Joy does not let a day go by. That let us know that Vision Pro is heavy. Yes, there's better straps.
Yes.
We can't lie to people and say, "Oh, it's the lightest headset on the planet."
Yeah, I mean, we were watching the last 2 nights. We had some date nights using Vision Pro, watching movies and whatnot. It's incredible. It's a device that I would recommend people to watch
Say that,
for
Joy.
movies only. Is it worth buying it? No, but if you happen to be around somebody that has it and you can experience it, it is absolute like top tier to watch movies on, right? But however, we watched movies and like it was sitting on my face for like hours, and it was really hurting my cheeks because I have high cheekbones, and so it like slides down and I have to move it and whatnot. So it's not for a very long time. It's not very.
She has the cutest cheekbones. Here's the
So
thing.
I mean, yeah.
We're not going to say don't buy it. We're going to say if you can afford a Vision Pro at this point, I think there's a lot of value there. We think it's a lot of value there. Is it something that I would recommend someone go buy firsthand? No, I would say get a used one. The M2 is great. I think you can get them now for $1,800. I've seen them sell for $1,600. To me, that is a great price for the Vision Pro. Spending $3,500.
I mean, it is. I mean, that's a great price for it.
$1,600. If come on now. Now we better have.
I know it was $4,200. So if you get it for $1,600, I mean, that's a steal. However, in this economy, that's all I have to say. In this economy,
I understand. Most people who are going to be watching this, they have a little expensive taste. They like a little nerdisms.
Right.
They're a little excitement. And look, I just saw Eric Hartley just say it too. He said, I've seen 256 gigabyte M2 for $1,050 a couple of times.
Now that's a steal.
But what I'm saying, 15, I wouldn't say anything below like 1,500, that is a steal. Because there is some incredible features that it does, and it does it quite well. And for some people, they don't have the cute high cheekbones like Joy, and so they're good. Now, no one's going to tell you that this is the beat all, the best thing ever for every single human being on the planet. No, we're not there yet. And, the iPhone became that literally 4 or 5 years after it was announced. So it took time. So we're going to look for new innovation, new changes, just like we're looking for Quest. Just like if you can't say, you can say the Quest 2 was the best of its time. Of its time. So, that's the way we look at it. But Joy gonna go all in on that. We're excited. Excuse me, y'all. We're excited about Vision OS 27 and what could be announced and coming from it. Now, one more thing about Vision Pro. We were just talking about the video aspect of things. I want to talk about, there's 2 new experiences that's going to be coming for the Vision Pro. One's dropping this Friday and one's dropping in April. Now, we want to talk on this one thing first. Joy, you want to tell them what the experience is going to be for this particular one?
Let me see where it is. Hold on.
Yeah, it's basically it's gonna be Lucas Sterner's hands-on. He's gonna be doing like this. It's an orchestra concert. It's gonna be one of the first ones we've seen in Apple Immersive. It's like a symphony Apple Immersive orchestra. It's gonna be really, really cool. I think it's like 35 minutes long. It's going to
they're going to enjoy the performance while being surrounded by the power of the orchestra in a spatial audio and enveloped in by the historical architecture in one of the world's most iconic music scenes. So that sounds pretty cool. I want to see it. I want to experience it. I want to be engulfed in it.
Yeah, we were just at GDC, which you're going to be talking about that in a second. And we got to see,
oh my gosh, the coolest experience ever.
Their orchestra, right? Their symphony, playing some game music, which was absolutely breathtaking and incredible to be in the audience to hear that live. Now, hearing that was one thing to be in the audience and hear it through the speaker system. I think Eric Hartley, he was right in the middle of it, so he was like hearing it right in front of him. But what what's the next best thing that we've seen is Apple Immersive Video has a way to just engulf you into it. And so I can't imagine how that's going to sound, having the spatial audio playing in my ears and everything just playing together. And like I said, it's going to be a 35-minute experience, and we're going to be able to experience this together in headset.
Yeah,
That's the magic. I'm going to keep going back and defending Apple here. That's the magic of the Vision Pro. We can watch it together and do it together and experience it together. We were watching Zootopia, y'all, and by the way, if you ain't never watched Zootopia, my God, it's so good. Zootopia, 1 and 2 are beautiful. We watched them back to back one night and then the next night. But that experience in Vision Pro was just so magical.
It was.
Watching it. It's just nothing like it on the planet. I'm just going to keep it honest with you guys. Look, I saw a line like man said, I normally don't rock with Apple, but them 1600 and under AVPs on AVP on eBay got me like for sure. Look, man. Go ahead and get it so we can hang out in the Vision Pro. Okay. Aaron Harley said there should be more BBC Proms content coming. Also, that's awesome to hear. I still don't have a Vision Pro due to lack of comfort. That's real. And he said the developer console was amazing.
Oh, it was. Oh my gosh. To be able to see all the different games that they were referencing and the music that was associated with it. It was like, and we're lovers of music anyway. And so it was just to be in there with live instrumentation, just chef's kiss.
Chef kiss. I love that so much. And there was one more immersive event that's going to be happening called Elevated. This is going to be over to New York City. Now, this series on the Vision Pro is a really breathtaking series where it kind of takes these really cinematic, very in-depth looks at different locations. One was like Hawaii and like a lot of cool different places. And this one's going to be over in New York City. So really, really excited to see this in person. We just recently went to New York for the first time a little while ago, and we fell in love with the city, but we've never seen it from the air. So we're going to be super excited to see this. And I just love seeing Apple. This is my hope. And we'll get out of the Apple
Get on
section.
your soapbox, boy.
No, this is my hope.
Yes, go ahead and
by the time, okay, she said get on my soapbox. I'm gonna get on my soapbox real quick. So by the time more people have a Vision Pro, my hope is, because when me and Joy first got it, we literally had like 5 things to watch. Mm-hmm. And we ran through all the content in the first day. By the time this becomes more mainstream and more people are using it, our hope is that as they keep adding to the library, by the time someone normal who gets into it is going to have so much content to watch that they won't be able to get through it in a week. That's my hope. And so these videos take a lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of creativity to manufacture and make. And a lot of money. And a lot of money. Heck, the cameras, it costs the one camera for this is over $30,000. So that's a lot of money. And this is technology that's going to have to continue to be shrunk down more and more until it gets to the consumer level where more and more people can use it. But just excited for what Apple is doing in the space. And I have a suspicion that Meta is investing heavily in this arena, and we're gonna get into that in just a moment. The last thing we want to mention is the state of VR ecosystem. This is going to get us into our in-depth talk about GDC and why we're even doing the show today. So go ahead and buckle in and be prepared, because we're going to go kind of deep into what's going to be happening. Eric Hartley said, don't forget about Pico. Yeah, Pico got some cool stuff coming. Absolutely. But this is one of those things where when we get into this topic, one of the areas, the reason why I was going to bring up Pico kind of later is we're going to get into a topic. I don't want to mention it right now, but it's something that Chris Pruett spoke about in his talk that I feel is going to be something that every vendor in VR is going to be chasing moving forward. So Joy, to set the stage here, let's set the stage here. Okay. We got a chance to go out to GDC in San Francisco. First of all, we absolutely fell in love with that city. We're looking at maybe moving out there. I'm playing because, oh my God, it is so expensive out there. But as you guys can see, we were at GDC. We want to first say this up front. Thank you so much, Meta. For inviting us out. That was an opportunity. They hit us up and said, hey, we would love for you guys to come out here and check out what we have and what we are doing out here. So we were excited. So they took care of some of our travel and made sure we got out there to take a look at what was happening in the state of XR and VR. Now, they did not pay us to say anything. This is just to make sure we were out there. So we want to set that record straight, because what we're going to talk about is the truth. We're going to talk about what we saw, what we learned, and our expectation and feeling of what the state of XR is. Now, Joy, what I would like for you to do, if you could, we're gonna go through our days at GDC. So day one for us, we were meeting and talking with developers. What was your sense when we were talking to the developers in the space?
Okay, well, the first day, we met a mixed bag of people. First of all, it's always good to see people that's in your space that you get to talk to, but you don't get to see all the time. And when you finally get to see them, it's always like a reunion. So that's always a good part. However, when we do see and start to begin to talk to some of these developers, a lot of people had concerns.
Yeah.
And that was before we even had this state of VR presentation that was presented. And so most of the consensus was people being optimistic about VR is still here to stay. However, they're being concerned about what is really going to happen. What direction is it really going to go? You know, JDun?
Yeah. So one of the things that when we were talking to the developers, one of the pieces that we really the one question we kept asking was, what is your current feeling about the state of VR? This is, like I said, prior to Chris's talk. And like I said, we had that mixed communication piece, or that mixed bag. One side of it was, man, I'm so optimistic because it's like the reset button has been hit. The other side was, man, funding, and the changes to that funding is making us look at maybe we have to go a different direction. We were talking to people who were once employed by some of these mega companies, really giving, really pushing VR, and no longer employed there. So now they're trying to look at it and go, maybe I need to move into a different arena that's a little bit more safer, since VR is kind of volatile. Like I said, this is prior to Chris Pruett talk, prior to someone who's at Meta, who really wanted to set the record straight and say what is going on. So this is like pre any information, right? Now, once we got into the conversation, there was some big data points that me and Joy want to go over one by one to really nail in how Meta views the state of the VR of VR ecosystem, like actually what is truly happening in the space. So Joy, let's go ahead and go through that list real quick. Now Joy's going to kind of hit it one at a time, and then we're going to give some commentary. We're not going to stay long on each point because there's a lot of points we want to cover. So I just want to make sure you guys knew that up front, but let's go ahead and go through it, Joy.
All right. So Meta Quest usage hit an all-time high in 2025. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Joy.
So the Quest usage has been growing year over year.
Okay. That's what I said. So let's look at it this way. So the first 2 points here that we want to touch on is the MetaQuest usage hit an all-time high. Now, we don't know what that high is. We don't know what percentage of people active in headset is. We just know that more people were using Quest, which is a good thing, in 2025 than any previous year before. A lot of that could have been due to a lot of cool innovation that's happening with the Navigator, with the new OS that was happening with Meta Horizon, the capture application, which was called Hyperscape. Yeah, Hyperscape. It could have been just a great, amazing games like Deadpool that came out in 2025. That's kind of what the hope was there, but they didn't give an exact number, just a high, all-time high there. Quest usage has been growing year over year. That's kind of what that piece was.
Yep. Then Meta Horizon store revenue was slightly up year over year. And the revenue stability is notable because 2025 did not have a hardware launch.
Yeah. So Quest 3S came out in 2024. In 2025, we didn't have anything that was VR related that dropped. from Meta, and so they're basically like, hey, we still had revenue high even though we didn't have an actual headset that launched that year. So that's a great thing. Now it did say slightly. He was very honest. It wasn't a
Mhm.
major jump, but it was a jump enough for them to make a remark about it.
Yep, the premium app sales remain the largest revenue driver. In-app purchases grew by 10% in 2025, and the IAP revenue is becoming more broadly distributed across more apps.
Yes. Joy's like,
It's
okay.
it's like go ahead.
No,
'Cause I was
this is because we're not readers of documents. We are talkers, right? So let's talk this through, Joy.
let's talk it.
So when it comes to Quest, we've been in this for like 5 years now. When it comes to Quest, what these stats really tell me, when we see in-app purchases are growing, the revenue is coming up. There was even a stat about the Meta Horizon Plus subscription service actually crossed over a few million. I think almost. I think 20 million or something like that in revenue from from developers who brought their games into that subscription service, which is
Mhm.
like their kind of buffet of different VR games that you can get for a certain dollar amount every single month, which is a great thing. What we're seeing in these numbers is, hey, where people were saying VR is dead, well, based off of those numbers in 2025, VR is not dead. In fact, it was actually growing. The problem was, and that's what we're about to get into, that's going to take us a little bit more time, is that developers felt that the changes in the store that begin to focus on Horizon Worlds,
Mhm.
where Worlds was being mixed in, like if you was to type in fishing, you wouldn't see real VR fishing first, you would see Bobber Bay. You would see
Mhm.
fishing with friends. Let's just say that's a world in Horizon. I don't know if it is or not. You would see those
Mhm.
worlds first as free experiences over a
Mhm.
$19, $20, $40 game that a developer has poured millions of hours in, millions of dollars in some cases,
And
to
we met
make.
someone that had that situation to where they had a
Yeah.
closely named Horizon World with their game that they invested hundreds of thousands of dollars into
Yes.
and having to compete with this world. And so
Yeah.
we completely understand in those situations, like, oh my gosh, this is terrible.
Yeah. And so for us, we're in the room, we're listening to this, and we're understanding that the biggest problem in 2025, and the biggest problem that developers has been seeing, is they've been targeting and looking at Horizon Worlds being pushed. Now, when we say being pushed, we're not just talking about, oh, there's some PR, because it barely was a lot of PR push. It was more so when you turn on your headset, you had a Horizon feed, and most of it was Worlds. When you go into
Yes,
the store, it was Worlds. You had a Worlds tab in the navigator, and people just felt
yes.
like, why, if I don't care about Horizon Worlds, why do I have to continually see it
Yep.
shoved? Unfortunately, the wording is shoved down our throat.
Yeah.
Right? So Meta said, you know what? We noticed, we paid attention, and the big applause moment, which for us being Horizon people, not that we wanted it to be in the store, and not that we wanted it to be Worlds to be the most important thing. And you know what? Let me say this because we didn't even mention this. We lost our voice at GDC. So we're just
Yes.
getting back to normal. We wanted to get this show out for you all. So just keep that in mind when you hear us cough. If you do hear us cough, or my voice twangs a little bit, it's simply because we did battle with that, but we're coming out on the other side of it. But anyway,
Yes.
back to the topic. We didn't ask for any of that. So to hear them applaud when Chris Pruett basically said, you know what, we were removing Worlds from the store by March 31st. You're not going to see them anymore in the store. The room exploded with excitement in the room. Joy, can you explain how you felt in that moment?
Being someone that has championed Horizon Worlds, but this is the thing, you're on the two sides of it because you understand. However, seeing that, it's like he announced it, and then after you hear this eruption of applause, and I'm kind of like turning around like, okay, I didn't know it was that much feeling toward it. But I mean, I understand after we've heard the stories, after we've had these talks with one-on-one with these developers, it's like, okay, I understand and I get it. I completely get it. And that's not something that we wanted as Horizon people to deal with anyway. So yeah, we get it.
Absolutely. Online, like man said, I'm gonna be honest. I was feeling a little type of way about VR, but somewhere between Worlds VR getting uncanned and the recent VR game showcase, things feel good again. Look, that gets the good claps. We're so excited to hear that.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk more about that in just a moment.
Yeah.
Mr. Trey said, when it comes to VR, my main focus has always been productivity and being social. Absolutely good
Love
claps
it.
for that as well.
Love it.
You know, that is something that is major to us. A lot of man said, what's crazy is that no one who likes Horizon Worlds asks for every individual world to clutter up the store. Absolutely. Good
part.
claps again, okay?
That part.
Eric Harley said, it is different to remove individual worlds cluttering a storefront versus the app itself, though. Absolutely. And that was our whole pushback, right?
Yeah.
Our whole pushback was, listen, please remove it from the store. Please remove it from being convoluted, like pre-installed for people who do not want it. Don't be a malware. Don't be like back in the day Windows used to have the Netscape automatically installed or Internet Explorer automatically installed on their computer. Like, you don't have to do that. Just if I want to download it, I'll download it. If I don't, I don't. We were perfectly fine with Horizon Worlds being a self-contained regular app, just like VR Chat, Rec Room, or anything else. Yeah. Now, of course, the Meta avatars are a part of the OS. It's Meta's headset. The friend system being a part of Horizon, that makes sense. It's Meta's headset. But everything else, it didn't need to be that. And so, you know, the applause happened. It was a lot of excitement. But remember, at this time, during this talk, not only was it going to be removed from the store and removed from the tab in Navigator, it was also going to be shut down in VR completely to where you would not even be able to visit a world in VR anymore in Horizon Worlds. Now that has been changed, but at the time, imagine how we felt in the room to hear people applauding to the death of what you have called home as a home in a metaverse home for the last 5 years.
And so then the next point that he made was that Meta described 3 major audience trends. It was the VR elites that are still around but spending less. Then there are the teens that are currently the most active on Quest. And then there are the what Meta expects to be the mainstream adults that are going to enter through the media consumption first, then the games later.
So this is where we was going to get in, and we were going to talk about the other vendors. So I want to show you guys something. Joy doesn't even know I have this. This is a secret.
Oh gosh.
I'm going to show you this game real quick. You see this game? Anybody know what this game is? Any adults know what this game is? It's called UGG. It's called UGG, okay? This is where kids, this is where teens are spending their time. This is one of the hottest games on the Quest today. It doesn't look like anything me and Joy would technically play. That doesn't mean there's something wrong with the game.
No.
It just means it's not age appropriate for us, right? So this is a game that we also got to see a talk about UGG and how they've had this wild, crazy success. This, let me explain. This game is social. This game allows them to have a movement, you know, the gorilla tag type movement that they love. It allows them to be creative. It doesn't have like realistic avatars or avatars that look like regular people. So they get to explore their creativity. And they're going in here doing whatever they want. It's like almost like a sandbox. Kind of clunky, not taking itself too serious, very jokey. And that's what the majority of Quest users who are teens, who are young adults, who are kids, who have headsets are playing experiences like this. Now, this does not call out to me. But Joy, this is what they're looking at. So when Meta talks about the VR elites, they're not talking about us playing, because we would consider ourselves VR elites. Most of you in this chat would consider yourselves VR elites, or we would consider you VR elites. You're not playing UGG. You know, put a fire emoji in the chat if you plan on playing UGG. Probably no one's going to do that. That does, like I said, doesn't take away. We do not want anyone to think we're looking down at it. And in fact, we're happy to see the success of what UGG is doing in allowing these kids to grow up in a sandbox arena to have creativity and be social. But that's what Horizon Worlds was in the very beginning. Very crude, primitive, as you can kind of see, very
Yeah.
had a charm to it that only adults kind of saw. And it kind of got ruined as more polish came in. So I understand why kids enjoy these types of experiences. But these are the teams we're hoping will grow from this free-to-play experience into wanting to play games like Batman Arkham Shadow, like Deadpool VR, etc. But they're not there yet. These are free-to-play social games. So Joy, what do we want to do? Look, Lion Mike said, respect their success, but man, I'm 38. Well, like it's some we feel the same way, bro. Like, Joy, I mean, do you have it? Like, I want to know, would you play like, honestly?
Well, this is the thing, because they are trying to capture the teens so they can grow with it. Once the kids fall in love with it, it's always going to be something a part of your childhood. I mean, how many of us grew up with things that we're trying to get that nostalgia back to this day? And
Absolutely.
so I guess that's what they're trying to target now, that the teens, the people who are teens now, they'll always have that nostalgia of saying, hey, I was in VR, I was playing this game, and they would continue along on that path to stay in the ecosystem. So I mean, I get what they're doing, but my thing is, you got to try to catch everybody, not just the teens per se, but catch the whole spectrum, because there's use case for this technology for everyone to keep them locked in.
Absolutely, absolutely. What's crazy is that we were showcasing this and showing this earlier. We were at the booth, at Meta's booth. They had a fantastic booth at GDC. And the games that they were showing was games like Arcane Age, which is a very much action adventure type game. Demio Battle Mark, which is absolutely more of a grown adult style, a Dungeons and Dragon type experience. They weren't really showing the free-to-play Gorilla Tag type games because most people here were adults, right? And so they were trying to go after a certain crowd of people who was wanting to play those types of experiences. Now, all of that being said, there's, like I said, I keep going back to this, and I'm gonna keep saying it over and over. There's nothing wrong with experiences like this, but what Meta does want to, at some point, do is they want to get the adults. Now, we talked about this, mainstream adults, and we got to spend just a few moments on this because it's really important. Mainstream adults want what we were just showcasing earlier: concerts. They want to be able to watch TV. They want to have, be able to do some work in VR. They want to be able to have multiple screens. They want to have a lightweight headset they can put on and have escapism. We used to say a long time ago that VR wasn't an escape for us. It was an enhancement to our life. But for most people, it's an escape. And so the adults are kind of want to get there, and we got meteors falling in the sky right now. Right? We got wars going on, so people might want to get in the headset. And so they're expecting when, because we kind of didn't touch on this, but Meta does say, and they did mention in this talk very publicly, say, yes, we are working on new VR hardware. It is in development. They weren't ready to share what exactly it is, but if you look at the rumors, we've been seeing a ton of rumors around a very lightweight headset from Meta that's going to have a puck that you can put in your pocket, very similar to Vision Pro, but lighter, much, much lighter than the Vision Pro. You can begin to see maybe there's going to be a possibility where you're going to be able to watch more content. You're going to be able to socialize maybe with some form of Kodak avatar. You'll be able to do more with it. And they leaned into, which will be another piece we're going to touch in shortly, of what is going to be a main feature that mainstream adults are going to look at.
Yeah.
So we have Holly saying to say, my nephew is on Quest right now. He's 11, probably playing UGG. Look, I mean, listen, it's real. Mr. Trey said they never should have got rid of workrooms. And see, this is the thing. Now, I will say this. There's applications like Immersed, that's incredible. This has a great community, but there's also an up and coming experience. Me and Joy got to check out a little while ago called Fluid, and it's a really great experience. And you know what? The Horizon Workrooms had a group on Facebook. I just want to shout them out. Nathan, he has been running that for a while. And the Fluid community, the developers came in and say, hey, look, we noticed that this is being shut down. What feature sets do you guys need to maybe move from workrooms and have a home over here in Fluid? And they listened and created those features immediately, not weeks, months,
Yeah.
days, actually. And so they're even building social aspects and pieces in there. So I just want to give a shout out to Fluid.
Shout out to Fluid.
They're doing an incredible. You know what, Fluid? You know what, Fluid? You get the good claps. Okay, you get the good claps. They're doing pretty good. They're finding room. You know, like I said, Immerse right now, they're chasing after, actually making hardware. They're chasing after other goals, which is great. But Fluid is an app that's saying they want to be the place that you go to do those types of things, work with friends, watch TV with friends. They even recently just added meta avatars. So they kind of been batting 1,000 recently when it comes down to just answering those questions. So if you, Mr. Trey, if you still have a need or desire for workrooms, definitely check out Fluid. It's a free application. They do have some subscription pieces, but you can check it out. We are not sponsored, by the way.
We are not sponsored by them. But then talking about the whole adult that they were trying to focus on and whatnot. So then they started talking about the hand tracking, which is positioned to be extremely important, especially for the future of the mainstream of VR and for adult users who may not want to use controllers. So,
you know what this reminds me of, Joy? Do you remember the day we bought my mom a Quest?
Yeah.
For Mother's Day. I believe this was like 2024 Mother's Day, if I'm not mistaken. We got her a Quest. And she had spent some time in it, but her with controllers, you have to understand my mom didn't even play Nintendo. She didn't play N64, so she didn't grow up using a game controller. She knows how you work a computer, work a keyboard and mouse, but she does not know anything about controllers. So imagine giving a 70-year-old woman 2 Quest controllers in her hand and explain to her how to move and operate. Now, granted, we're great teachers. She got in Horizon, was moving around, was having a good time, and we had a good time. But it was a learning curve for her, right? Where mainstream adults, they want what the Vision Pro has. One of the most magical things you can do on Vision Pro is just turn it on and use it without any controls at all. You look at something, you pinch your fingers, and it's there.
And it worked. Yeah.
It works great. Galaxy XR has this feature as well. And future headsets, shout back out to Eric was talking about Pico. Pico is also kind of making a native hand tracking first headset that also will work with controllers. But hand tracking is going to be the mainstay. And we also believe, and it was very much hinted in this talk, that future headsets from Meta will be heavy on hand tracking. And so that means to us, they're really, really focusing deeply on making the integration. When not hand tracking, not just being a feature, but being something native. That's a key. That's a key. And so those are the things that we kind of heard from Chris Pruett's talk. Now, Joy, we'll spend the last few minutes of our podcast and just giving our personal thoughts after being at GDC, after being on the show floor, after listening to the talk, after hearing the optimism, because we was in the room, we got to talk to more developers after the fact, like, oh, wait a minute, there's some really big changes here. There's some great changes here. There's some big investments that's being made here. So personally, Joy, I got to ask you, what do you think the state of XR is as you see it today?
I feel as though people are being more optimistic than what they were before. A lot of people was jumping ship. A lot of people was like, should I just pack up this thing and just call it quits and whatnot? But I think people have been more reassured that there's things to come and that there's so many more things to look forward to, and that it's not how can I say it? It's not for nothing, that it's going to be okay. But I think that they were just looking for direction. And I feel as though they got that with the Meta state of VR.
I'm sitting here thinking about it more and more, because I'm gonna give my personal thought. But just to go back to what you said, there was a lot of conversations of, I think I'm going to flat gaming now. I think you even see this. We see, shout out to Resolution Games. They're trying to release some of their games on flat screen. We're seeing more and more VR games coming to Steam or the PC as a flat regular game. And, we just never thought that we thought flat games would start heading towards VR and not VR towards flat. We even see VR chat is now on mobile as well. It's just a lot of expectations that's missing. And I don't know, it really saddened us at first. Before this talk, we were kind of in a melancholy state saying we don't know what to expect. Should we continue pushing this? Should me and Joy continue waking up every single waking day? Because you guys, I'm not joking. Every day we wake up, we're putting hands to the plow to push XR forward in so many different ways that you guys cannot imagine, from learning the new tools to, promoting and pushing XR experiences on multiple platforms, to having the conversations with developers behind the scenes, consulting with companies behind the scenes. We're doing everything, y'all. And so when we say that, we really mean it. Now, I'm going to break it down real quick on my side. Joy, that was great. I'm just going to say this. When it comes to the state of XR and what's really happening in our space, I'm going to look straight into the camera. It all comes back to the community. It all comes back to why we do this in the first place. The reason why me and Joy decided to get into a headset and find a space in Horizon while we continue to make content, while we made a YouTube channel and converted our YouTube channel to be focused on VR. The main reason we did it is because the magic of the first moment we put that headset on, we knew we had to share it with so many other people. There is no other technology on the planet that is more magical than a VR or XR headset. You can bet your bottom dollar, okay? There is nothing more magical than dancing with the robot for the first time and first steps on the quest. There's nothing more magical than using a Vision Pro and experiencing these spatial Apple immersive videos and experiences. There's nothing more magical than being able to see your room transform right in front of you and your walls disappear as you play a mixed reality experience. We have been trying our best to catch that lightning in a bottle to showcase that to the world. It just doesn't come across these 2D planes. So imagine us.
Go ahead. The sad part is that they don't even know that it exists, or they never experienced it properly, because some people go to these, like the Best Buys and all these other stores that may have it available, but the people there give you a terrible experience. You're like, what in the world? Like, why would I even put my money into this, or I'm never trying this again. But if they take the time, and once they have those experiences of having a fabulous tutorial of how to go through this, y'all, people's minds are blown, and they're like, I cannot go back to flat. Like, I can't go back to flat screen 2D or anything like that. So
how could you go from you play Call of Duty on the phone, you play Call of Duty on the console, how can you go back from playing Call of Duty like in a headset, like an experience where you're holding the gun and you're walking to the point where you get so scared that you get out the headset, right? How can you have, you used to be in the game on the 3DS, on the Nintendo DS called Nintendo Dogs, and you could, pet the little dog on the screen. But when you could see something physically walking around your actual space, jump on your couch, move around you, it's just so magical. And this is why we fight for this. I saw Tracy, it's called Get 'em to the Metaverse. Yes, it's called Get 'em to. You see the passion in us. You saw me. Look, there was no coughing or nothing when I was talking, right? Like, when I get fired up about this space because we love it so much, that moment, and I'm going to say this, we've said this so many times, but I feel like this is the perfect time to say it. Bought a Quest 2 the second I put it on my face. Not 5 minutes later, because Joy's right in my AirPod while I was doing it. She was at work. I remember it like it was yesterday. I got the headset on. She got, hey, what's going on? What you doing? We were dating at the time. And I'm like, I'm in this Quest. And I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. She's like, what's going on? Tell me. And I was like, I rip it off my face. And I say, listen, what time you get off? I get off at this time. I'm bringing it over to your house. She's like, bring it over. And she puts it on. We both were in it 5-10 minutes each for the first time. And it changed our whole perspective of everything. That was 2020. We've been on fire. You know how hard it feels? How hot we are? We've been on fire ever since for the metaverse. We've been on fire ever since for VR. We've been on fire ever since for XR. And so when people ask us...
And I do want to clarify this as well. It's not just the gaming experiences. It's not just the surface level things. This technology changes everything as far as people who are disenfranchised or not able to have the resources. We built the FAMU Metaverse.
Yes.
And
The
there are
Rattlerverse.
students, the Rattlerverse, and there are students who never got a chance to visit FAMU in Florida, but they got to visit the Rattlerverse and learn all about the college
Yeah.
before even stepping foot on, like have this immersive experience, being able to meet the recruiters, having that presence while still being in the comfort of their own home and not paying for gas, paying for all of this other stuff that would add up. And they make that decision to go to that college because of those things. It's like this technology is everything.
Yes, we've been in rooms with students explaining, we was at GDC and we were interviewed and someone asked us, how do you encourage someone to build in VR? How do you encourage someone to make their step into the metaverse? Maybe they're not even gamers, maybe they're not builders, maybe they're not developers, but what would you tell them? And we were in the classroom years ago teaching some HBCU students some incredible knowledge about the metaverse and Web3. And the wording that me and Joy said was, in the world, the sky is the metaphorical limit.
Yeah.
But in the metaverse, there's no sky to limit you. And we told that to the cameraman at GDC, and they were looking at us like, what? Like, that's pretty great. What we were saying is that the reason why VR is so amazing and why we believe, as far as the state of VR, we will never give up. We will never stop fighting for it. We will never throw in the towel, because we know this technology isn't just for some. We know this technology isn't just for 20% of the population or one side of the population. This technology, as Joy likes to say, is for everyone.
Yes.
And until you can go into a 7-Eleven and buy you a stick of gum, a Butterfinger, and a headset for under $30, we're gonna keep fighting. We're gonna keep going, because you know what? Cell phones back in the day, you couldn't go buy one in 7-Eleven, but you can now.
True.
And so our expectation is AR glasses, VR, XR, MR, all these spatial computing, these technologies will continue to grow. And so even in 2026, even in its bleakest hour, even with layoff after layoff, closure after closure, company getting bought or company being sold, we still believe in the metaverse. We still believe in XR, and we will never give up on that journey at all.
Absolutely.
We have Mr. Trey said there's still people that don't know what the metaverse is. Absolutely. And that's why we're doing this podcast.
We still got work to do.
We still got work to do. I have met so many people and made so many connections because of this technology. I tell others the metaverse is not just a game. Absolutely. Holly said, I cried in the headset doing the Anne Frank house. Knowing the story and reading was one thing, but seeing it like that was something else. Listen.
That part. Oh my gosh.
We can talk about the Martin Luther King experience. Now's the time, I believe it's called. That is absolutely, we tell people every Black History Month, we tell people, even not when it's Black History Month, go check it out. There's a moment in it, and I won't spoil it, that literally was so realistic for me, for being an African-American man in the United States, that I literally had to take the headset off and have a moment. Because it touched me so deeply. And I remember, I'll never forget this. We posted about it. And a guy hit me up who's a different persuasion, different skin tone. And he said, listen, man, I didn't even know this was created. I just had my whole entire team, and I even had my family check out this experience. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. We had no clue that this is what it was like. And it's just so impressive, and that's why we will never
give magic. Up. Yeah, that's the magic of this technology, of putting you in different perspectives that you just can't get organically. Sometimes you just can't. But for training purposes, it's just so much that this technology can do, and it can be used so much for education. Oh my gosh, the sky is the metaphorical limit. But it's just so much, and we're going to continue to push this technology and let everybody know that it's for everyone.
Listen, I couldn't say it better. Joy always has the best closure. Joy, do you have anything else you want to say before we head out of here?
Of course, I have to say thank y'all all the time. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us. It has been such a pleasure having this discussion with y'all. And look, VR is not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere. And y'all better not go anywhere either.
That's right. And I'm going to say this. Listen, it's not just magical, it's practical. It's not just changing lives today, it's going to change lives in the future. This technology is going to be the technology that takes the human race to the next level. It is the next computing platform, and we will continue to push that because we still believe in the metaverse. Listen, y'all, it has been a tremendous, incredible show. You guys got to deal with the voice, you got to deal with the cough, you got to deal with a little, passion and excitement. But know this, when you talk to us and you ask us what the state of XR is, get ready to get punched in the face because we excited about the metaverse and we excited about VR, and we will never, ever throw in the towel. Listen, y'all, it has been Get Into the Metaverse. You have been the most incredible audience. Let me give y'all a good class before we go. I gotta give y'all a good class. Joy already doing it. I had to get the audio with it. Yeah, we appreciate you, Line Like Man, who also said, nah, there really is no sky. I work in VR, explore the world, shoot video for it, and so much more. Yet I don't even feel like I've done 10% of what this thing can do. Listen, that's what we talking about. We got to keep getting them to the metaverse. See y'all next time.
Bye.
Peace.